Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, we got some big SEC games coming Saturday, and there might be a couple of upsets. We got to talk about Hugh Freeze. He is sick of Pavia, and I can't blame him, but we're going to get into all of that. All right, folks, we're going to start out with this weekend schedule of all the big games, and there's 5 actual games that I care about. I don't care about Oklahoma playing Maine, Little Sisters of the Poor, nor do I care about Mississippi State playing the Massachusetts Fighting Possums or whatever the crap they are. But I do care about all these other games. Ole Miss versus Arkansas, Vanderbilt versus Auburn. That one's got all kinds of intrigue. Florida versus Georgia, Texas A&M versus South Carolina, and Kentucky versus Tennessee. And I'm going to rank these based on games that I think will be really good. Like these could be tight ball games, and they will have a huge impact on who wins the SEC, who gets in the playoff, and all of that sort of thing. So I'm going to start out with the first game that I think is incredibly intriguing, and that's going to be South Carolina versus Texas A&M. A&M is undefeated in the SEC, and they do have one loss, and I believe that was to Notre Dame. So South Carolina is a team that has a very good defense. Their offense is really iffy, but this game is at South Carolina at 7:30 at night. And South Carolina, their stadium can get pretty wild at night, and I know they're going to be fully fortified and ready to go.
You picked up some bootleg liquor. Where did you get the liquor? Where did you get the liquor?
So I'm looking for South Carolina to give Texas A&M a heck of a ball game. I really think their defense can handle Texas A&M's offense, even if they go with Marcel Reed, who had a really nice game running the ball against LSU. LSU's defense is not that good. It struggled terribly last year. It's a little better this year. South Carolina's defense is for real. The big question is Lenora Sellers. Can they move the ball? Rocket Sanders, all of that. If Lenora Sellers has a good game, and he has been showing some signs that he's really been flashing, you might see a ball game. Now, if he throws the ball away and does a bunch of interceptions and crap like that, fumbles, Texas A&M will whoop up on him. But I tell you what, don't be shocked if that South Carolina defense doesn't cause A&M all kinds of problems, because we don't know if they're going to play Connor Wagman. They'll probably play both, Wagman and Reed. Reed will give them more problems because of his legs than Connor Wagman will. But anyway, that's a very intriguing game, and that's an upset alert. South Carolina could upset Texas A&M right there. We'll see what happens. It's probably 60-40 A&M in my book. But it really depends on Lenora Sellers. He's the key to this game. All right, now the second most important game as far as the SEC is concerned, college football playoff, would be Ole Miss at Arkansas. Now this is going to be a noon game. That doesn't help Arkansas as much because their crowd won't be as wild, and you can kind of sneak up on a team at noon. You remember Tennessee playing LSU at 11 a.m. Central Time a couple of years ago in 2022. And we just ran all over them. It was ridiculous. And I don't think folks in Louisiana even really get going until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because a lot of them like to party Friday night. So we'll see how Arkansas does. But let me tell you right now, don't look past Talon Green. He just played a heck of a ball game against Mississippi State. He gave the VOLS fits. The dude can run. He's elusive, and he's got a pretty darn good arm, and he'll surprise you. Ole Miss, of course, has Jackson Dart. They will be, it looks like, missing Walter Nolan. I don't know if he'll be ready to go or not. I know he got injured last weekend. So it should be a heck of a ball game. That's another upset alert. Arkansas could absolutely beat Ole Miss. So that's another one. I would put it 60-40. I think Ole Miss is favored, but Arkansas might sneak up. They're 5-3, and Ole Miss is 6-2. So anyway, that'd be my number 2 game. All right, number 3 game as far as just pure intrigue. Now, this won't have a huge factor in the SEC or college football playoff, but it's got intrigue on top of intrigue. First of all, you've got Diego Pavia, who is just, look, Hugh Freeze is sick of this guy. And here's why. He's already beaten him twice. He beat his team at Liberty, and then he beat him last year at Auburn when he pretty much wiped the floor with them at the Plains when he played for New Mexico State. So don't be shocked if he doesn't give Auburn a fit again.
I'm sick of seeing that quarterback. I've had enough of him, and what a competitor he is, and the job that Clark Lee is and his staff have done there. man, to be in the games and have a chance to win all the games they're playing against the nation's elite is just so impressive. One of the scariest things, I mean, you're basically playing Navy. It doesn't look just like Navy, but you're not. I mean, Alabama had 44 real snaps of offensive football against them. Last year when we played him, the first time we touched the ball in the first quarter, I believe, was with 5 minutes and 5 seconds left. That's uncomfortable, and so they know who they are, and they're good being who they are, and so, and then he moves and makes plays and is savvy and smart and tough, and again makes everybody do their assignment on every single play, or you get burned, and it's 3 yards here even on a broken play, and then it's 4 yards, and it's 3rd and 3, and they get 3.5.
Now realize, after Liberty got beat by Diego Pavia, he went and beat him at Auburn, like I told you about. He went in the portal. Hugh Freeze could have had Diego Pavia. Could have absolutely had him. Nah, I'll stick with Peyton Thorne. How's that worked out for you?
Big mistake. Big. Huge. I have to go shopping now.
You're the most jinxed team in the country, turning the ball over like crazy. You finally beat Kentucky to get you to, 3-5? And you're loaded with talent. Auburn's got as much talent as anybody in the SEC outside of maybe Georgia and Alabama and Texas. So they should be, 5-3 or 6-2. But because they struggle at the quarterback position, it just makes everything kind of fall apart. They literally gave away 2 ball games this year that they were ahead in the fourth quarter, and there's no way they were going to lose. And they just figured out some way to do it against Oklahoma and then also California. You saw that game where they turned the ball over 4 times. So look for Vandy to give Auburn a fit. I would not be a bit surprised. If, matter of fact, Vandy's probably favored in this game. I look for Vandy to win that ball game, even though it's just there's something about this Pavia dude. He makes everybody better. He gets the defense fired up. He gets the crowd fired. He brings it. So that should be an outstanding game. And I don't blame Hugh for being sick of him, but you could have had him on your team as quarterback. You'd be 6-2, worst case scenario right now. Had you done that, you might be 7-1. So pretty foolish on your part. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, he didn't fit your offense. Yeah, right. A running quarterback who can also throw, yeah, and has tons of savvy and is great on 3rd down and great in overtime. Yeah, that's a guy you don't want. All right. So now we're going to go to the 4th most intriguing game. And this, of course, is my Vols with Kentucky coming to Neyland. Now, Kentucky has had a really tough time against Tennessee. It's just been a team that Tennessee's had their number for a very long time. They've only won a couple of games in the last 15 years. And their people are not happy. They're 3-5 right now. They're looking at missing a bowl, which they probably will. And they're coming into a hornet's nest. Oh, my gosh. Neyland is going to do their blackout. It's going to be something special at 7:30. I mean, good grief. Sorry, 7:45. It'll even be darker. And let's see how the folks up in Kentucky are feeling right now. We got to check in on Nick Roush. A wellness check, if you will.
Kentucky plays Tennessee this week. Still waiting for the Cats to score 21 points. Tennessee, they score points. Defense is pretty good. It's not going to be fun. I've always wondered what it's like to get up and go to a job that sucks. This is going to suck. But we got to do it. We got to push through it. Here goes nothing.
Nick Roush, man, he never disappoints. He might be the most popular radio guy in the state of Tennessee. I have no doubt that he is. And I think they like him pretty well up in Kentucky, too. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. I like that. What the heck? And if they win, if they win, he'll be going nuts. So anyway, be looking for that game to be very interesting. That could get ugly. If Nico continues playing like he did in the second half of the Alabama game, it could be bad. It could be a rout. But if he plays like he did in the first half of the Alabama game, Kentucky could be in this game. Now, it's going to be tough, man, for Kentucky. It's going to be so loud. Oh, my gosh. Neyland at night, and the blackout and all that, it's going to be a haunted house. It just is. And I think Nick referred to that as well. It's going to be a haunted house. All right, now the last game, this is going to be Florida versus Georgia. This could be the Billy Napier Bowl. If he can, oh man, DJ Lagway's a good quarterback, but he's a freshman, a true freshman. They're playing in Jacksonville, the world's largest tailgate party. I mean, it's going to be wild. And Georgia right now is feeling good. They just beat the crap out of Texas. They've had an off week. Florida has too. I don't know, man. Georgia, once they get rolling, this could be tough because that Georgia defense could make it really difficult on DJ. I don't know what to think's going to happen here. I'm kind of rooting for Florida to give them a game because I want Billy to stay there at Florida.
Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it.
Now, I don't think there's any way they can win this game, but one of two things could happen. They could make a game out of it for a while, and then Georgia's going to walk away at the end, or they could just rip them. And then everybody's going to want rid of Billy immediately. And then, of course, that screws over Lane Kiffin completely with his season at Ole Miss because he absolutely won't shut down those rumors. Although if Ole Miss gets beat by Arkansas, it's not going to matter. They'll have 3 losses. So for Florida, you either want to win the game or you want to get routed and you want Lane Kiffin to get beat. That way he's got 3 losses and you can go ahead and just make your move. Anyway, so those are the 5 big SEC games this weekend to look for. And I think it's going to be much more entertaining than last weekend. Last weekend was a little bit meh. This thing could be exciting. I know I'm going to be watching that, starting out with that South Carolina game. I wish that was at noon. That way I could watch it or at 3:30, but it is what it is. So anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, boom. Right there is a little button. Doesn't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. That's pretty special in 2024, expensive as everything is. It's free. And right over here is a YouTube video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time with Sports Talk Jay.